So 455 miles, 330 locks. That sounds like the first 6 months of me living on a narrowboat. That's it. Sixth of February, I took delivery of Alice, my new 60-foot narrowboat. I'd never lived on a narrowboat before, so it was all completely new. I'd been on a holiday and had a 2-day helmsman course, but that was about it. A brand new experience for me and for Molly. And we've already put in some distance, and it certainly feels like I've let the nomad inside me out. Starting on the Trent and Mersey Canal, we travelled southeast and then northeast up to the sort of Nottingham and Derby area, onto the River Trent, then the Upper Trent, then we came back down onto the River Soar, carrying south down the Leicester line to the Grand Union Canal, which there we travelled west over to the South Stratford Canal. Travelling down that to Stratford upon Avon, out onto the River Avon. I was a bit wary about this, but the weather conditions when I went on it were fine. Out onto the River Severn, down to Gloucester, did the Gloucester and Sharpness Canal in full, then back up onto the River Severn, up past Worcester, and then we joined the Stratfordshire and Worcestershire Canal. I stayed for a short period of time at the Shropshire Union Canal, and that's where I changed my mind and decided to come back to Nottingham. So we went back onto the Stratfordshire and Worcestershire Canal, the Trent and Mersey, the River Trent, and to where I am now, the River Soar. So it's been quite a busy 6 months. Am I pleased? You bet I am. It's a complete feeling of freedom. I can go anywhere. It feels like I can do anything. I know I can't, but it really feels very, very, very different. There's no longer this sort of trapped into a house, trapped into a mortgage, trapped into debts. I've met so many fantastic people along the way. As soon as you're on a boat, for some reason, absolutely everyone talks to you. Not only other boaters, but people on the towpath, people walking past. I have spent hours and hours and hours talking, drinking with people I'd never knew before, about the boat, about living on the waterways, and of course getting loads and loads of hints and tips from other boaters. Everyone's very, very open, very friendly atmosphere, and that's the same virtually in all the cities and the countryside. Everyone's sort of very similar. And there certainly is a feeling that if ever you were in need of help, then boaters would stop and help. I've really enjoyed learning about Alice as well, how she navigates through the water, where the pivot points of turning are, how fast she'll go, what it's like in different weather conditions, when it's windy, when to travel, when not to travel. I've done 359 hours on the clock so far. So I've done 2 services. That was also an education. I'd never serviced a boat in my life before, but I feel quite confident now that the next service will be fine. I'd been through doing an upper house, so I was familiar with living amongst clutter, tools, mess, things that hadn't been finalised. So that's what I was sort of used to. I really enjoyed the travelling. I drove back to Nottingham specifically to fit Alice out and get all that job done. But as soon as I got there, I got a little bit bored, and I think I caught a bit of the nomad bug, and I just wanted to travel. I wanted to see loads of different styles of canals, rivers, wide, thin, deep, shallow. 6 months on, of course, haven't even touched the surface of the amount of canals and waterways I could do, but I've done quite a number of miles. I've got quite a number of different types of canals under my belt, and now it feels right to settle down in the Nottingham area, ready to do the fit out. I'm aware that I need to do the fit out before the winter sets in, and I need to get the paint job done before the winter sets in. I'm not worried with the amount of time it's taking me to do the fit out. 6 months ago I had, as my old neighbour called it, a foam-lined corridor to live in. And now I've got a bedroom, I've got a semi sort of bathroom, a semi sort of kitchen, and a semi sort of sitting room area. All rough and ready, I'm aware of that, but I've got hot and cold water, I've got central heating, got a multi-fuel stove, a shower, etc. So I've got all the essentials. Major points throughout the time have been when I first installed the shower. Washing out of the sink or only at Canal and River Trust showers was tough. I don't know if any of you have washed out of a sink before now, but it's not marvellous. So that was a major step when I had the shower installed. The next major step was the cooker. To be able to cook actual food rather than everything being in ready meals in the microwave, it was really, really fantastic. The outside I haven't really decided yet. I'm toying between spraying, getting it sprayed probably with something like 2-pack, putting it into a polytunnel and getting that done, versus the roller and brush method. I'm tending to lean towards the latter, purely because I can touch up and I can repaint bits and pieces when they get damaged as I cruise along, rather than think, right, okay, it's now time for spray painting again. If there's a scratch or a nick or I drop something, I can just touch the paint up if I've done it with a roller and a brush. That's my thinking. Please let me know in the comments below if you think spraying is much better than painting by roller and brush, or if you think that roller and brush is much better than spray. Please do let me know, because I'm still a bit undecided. That's probably why I haven't actually had it done yet, because I don't really know what I want. It's almost as though I don't know what I don't know. We're so lucky in Britain for the amount of wildlife we have. Constant amount of fish in the water, different types of birds. There's moorhens, there's swans, there's black swans, there's herons, and there's loads and loads of other wildlife I don't even know the names of. But you're constantly seeing them, and they are so close to you. You know, never before have I been preparing breakfast and a swan sticks its head through the window, or have I ever opened the front door and had a couple of ducks sitting in the bow deck, soaking up the sun. It's very, very different. It feels very back to nature, and it's absolutely fantastic. Some of you have asked about Molly. Has she enjoyed it? How has she taken to the water? How has she taken to living on the boat? Well, as far as I can see, she's absolutely loving it. She loves the outdoors. She loves running up and down towpaths, rivers, jumping in the water. She's learned very quickly not to jump in the water when on the boat, even though she sort of You would think a lab would, because Labradors absolutely love water. I've now trained it into her enough that when she's on board, she stays on board, and there's no thought of even going in the water. And then 11.5 weeks ago, I started this new crazy thing called Journey with Jono on YouTube. I'd never had a channel before. Okay, I'd had the filming and editing experience for news. I struggled at the beginning. I thought, why on earth would anyone want to watch Molly and I cruise along the canals or fit a boat out? And I was worried that I wouldn't even get to like 100 subscribers. 4,100 and something or other later, I'm absolutely blown away with how many people across the world are interested in living off the grid, living on a canal boat, and how fitting it out, and how living with Molly and what it's like. So many questions, so many comments. Thank you so much for all of you. I'm absolutely blown away by it all. It's not easy, but the thought of the comments and the views coming in is just, it spurs me on every single week. It's fantastic. Even though I've done some 359 hours of engine time and hundreds of miles around the network, I have only scratched the surface of the amount of canals and rivers I can explore. I've got so much of the network I haven't even touched. And that's going to take me years and years, and I'm really excited about the prospect of having constant new areas and new things to explore. The boat will improve, once it's fitted out, once it's painted. I'll enjoy the relaxation inside instead of sitting on some garden furniture watching the telly. But I've got all this to experience. I've got the complete freedom. It's not particularly easy, I must say. Living off grid, as I've said in other videos, is quite a task, but I'm really grasping it, and I'm learning it, and I'm loving the experience of learning it. I've got so much to learn, so much to do. It's going to take me years and years and years, and the thought of that is very daunting to some. I know it would be, and the thought of not having a boat completely fitted out before you move on board, not alone live on board, is quite scary to some, but I'm absolutely loving it. So many different people, different places, different things, learning different things. I'm changing things as I go along. It's like a moving target, and best thing I've ever done.